Greetings and Nets, I'm John Sturm. This is a different type of video for you until my next walkthrough game. I would like you to meet a very special guest. This is my Uncle Cliff.
Tornado buddy?
Tornado buddy.
Tornado expert. How are you guys in YouTube land?
So we are going to be talking about the best movie Hollywood has ever made, Twister. Alright, we're going to be talking about the whole movie, spoil the whole thing, and Cliff's going to tell his story about when he saw an actual tornado.
Woo.
We are going to be alternating back and forth between it, so we're going to begin right now with the movie. Although critics, as I say, critics do not know what they're talking about in the movie. Although the movie received mixed reviews, Twister was a box office success, making $494 million in the box office, making it the second highest grossing movie of 1996. Independence Day winning it.
ID4.
Yeah,
But Twister was better.
Twister was better. This movie is the biggest movie of my childhood. I watched this countless times when I was little. I'd say I've probably seen it more times than I can count, because I honestly don't remember. Rest in peace, Bill Paxton. You were the man. This was your movie.
Yep.
And so now, I say this, let's begin the movie.
This is also dedicated to Tim Samaras and his son and team.
Twist-X.
Twist-X team.
Who had passed away.
Died on Root Road in Oklahoma.
2013 Tuscaloosa.
No. El Reno.
El Reno, that's right. Alright.
Tuscaloosa was crazy too in 2011.
Yeah. Okay.
April 27th.
April 27th. Twister.
James Spann, you're the man.
Yes, you are. Twister begins in 1969 with, how fitting, a tornado starting off in the middle of our main character's home. We see a panoramic shot of clouds forming above the house, and then lightning just starts going, just hitting hard. And unfortunately, while running off to shelter her with her family, and fortunately saving their dog too. They had to save the dog. Her father is, he didn't expect it to be as powerful as it was, being an F5 tornado in 1969. We didn't even know about that yet.
Nope.
So, and unfortunately, her father is, he cannot keep the door down, and he is sucked out of the window, and he does die.
Goes.
So, then we are taken to present day 1996, when the movie was released and takes place. Cliff, we're going to toss it over to you. You saw a tornado. You were not only in a tornado, you were in the biggest tornado in history.
Right.
The fastest tornado ever caught on Earth, May 3rd, 1999. Let's start with you for a little bit. What happened on that day?
Do you want me to go back a little ways and kind of set up the story?
Yes, I would like you to do every detail you can find.
Okay, good deal. So I was living in Sapulpa, Oklahoma at the time, which is a suburb just southwest of Tulsa. That day, I was a missionary, and we had the day off and we were playing basketball in Tulsa at a church. And we were outside. We were waiting for some other missionaries to come by. And do you want me to talk to you or the audience?
I would like to talk to
Just normal?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So, because John's heard this story before.
And I love this story.
Yep. And so, we were waiting for some missionaries, and I just happened to notice there were some really tall, really puffy white clouds. Nothing scary at all, nothing you would even think of. Well, they got there, and we went to dinner. I think it was at, like, a Village Inn, for some reason. If they had something like that. And then, we came outside. Me and one of my buddies went outside to run across the street because in the Oklahoma area, they have a place called Brahms. Oh, it's awesome. They do milkshakes and really good, like, dairy-based foods. So, we ran across the street, and I was running west, and me and him noticed way off in the distance some pretty dark clouds. But again, I'm in Oklahoma. This is nothing even remotely crazy. You know what I mean? Not even close. And cut me off when you want to keep going.
Okay. So we're taken to present day 1996. with the NSSL station, and they are tracking a massive line of tornadoes in Oklahoma at the time of the movie, not clip story. We're gonna, like I said, we're gonna alternate back and forth between movie and real story. So
Like pretty bad storms. They're like, it's definitely got their attention.
yes. So they're saying this is going to bring a massive record outbreak of tornadoes here in Oklahoma. Well, this is going to be a long day for them. We are then introduced.
Say it's your turn.
We are then introduced to our main character, Bill Harding, played by the late and legendary Bill Paxton. And he is meeting up with his ex-wife, Jo, at the time to meet up with her and sign the divorce papers that he has to have her finalize. And he has his fiancée until Melissa, played by Jamie Gertz. So
Boy, they picked a heck of a day to do that.
they sure did. They really did. So they arrive with the team, and we're meeting with each of the members. We meet Dusty, our best guy besides Bill. Rabbit, Belzer, Haynes, Preacher, Brian, and Joey. And so Bill meets up with Jo at the satellite place. Jo, played by Helen Hunt, and so he tries talking to her for a little bit about, can you sign these papers, please? But she keeps changing the subject, unfortunately. So
Yep.
they meet. She meets.
Kind of weird, huh?
Yeah, it really is. She meets Melissa, and she's like, okay. She doesn't know quite what to say about it, and so later on, a couple of minutes later, Jo brings Bill to the back of her truck, and it turns out that the reason she called him out there is because the device that Bill had been testing for a while is a device named Dorothy to read tornado readings better, and so it turns out that's what's in the back of the truck. That's what she brought him out there for, actually, to hopefully, like I said, to improve tornado readings and improve the warnings to save more lives.
Mm-hmm.
And when she tells him that it's ready for testing, it just so happens that there has been a tornado spotted nearby in the area they're in.
Not a big one. I think an F2?
F1.
F1. Okay, so...
Well, we don't know because they don't actually get there, because on the road, Bill's about to leave with Melissa, but he realizes that Jo did not sign the papers.
Oh.
So he's like, oh no, okay, we gotta go right back after her. So he's still not technically part of the team. He's not really there to chase the tornadoes. He's just there to get the papers. All right, Cliff, we're going to toss it over to you.
Yep, okay, cool. So when we left off last time, me and a buddy were running across the street, noticed some dark clouds, which again, if you've ever lived in the Midwest, is nothing. Nothing at all. You see that like every other day in the summer, right? And this is in May, which is the most active time of the year. And so we went over, got a little ice cream, got back, and nothing. So we were hanging out for a while, finally decided it was time to head back. It was getting pretty late. It was, I think, 8:30 or 9 at this time, right around there. And so we started driving home. We had to drop off 2 other guys at their place. So we dropped them off and started heading in Jinx, Oklahoma. And then we started heading to Sapulpa, which is not that far away. It's maybe 10 miles. And that's when we really started to notice, like, those clouds are no joke. Again, not really super worried because we've seen crazy storms in Oklahoma. But, like...
So you'd seen it before. You'd seen storms like this before this tornado happened.
Right. I'd been there for about 3 months at this time. Well, 2.5 months. And I've seen this a few times. So it was still like, whoa, those are really dark. But I still wasn't worried at all, like 0, So we started heading home. We get to Sapulpa. And right about when we get there, the storm hits and it's just crazy. We're like, whoa. So we run inside. There's a ton of wind and rain. And the lightning at this point was like, boom, like every 3 or 4 seconds there was a lightning bolt. So, okay, we got a bad storm. Okay.
All right.
Take over.
So, where we last left off, so Bill's trying to catch up with Joe.
I don't want to give him too much.
That's okay. So, Bill's trying to catch up with Joe, and before he can catch up to her, we get to meet our villain for the movie.
Dun dun dun!
Dr. Jonas Miller, played by Carrie Elways. And he...
Is that his name for real?
Yeah.
Dude, I didn't know that.
It is. Thank you.
Okay.
So, you may remember him from as Farboy from Princess Bride, if you've ever seen that movie. And if you haven't seen The Princess Bride, what's wrong with you?
Yeah.
Everybody's seen that
You
movie.
gotta see it.
So...
Even if you're a guy, guys even like that movie.
Guys, everybody...
Everybody
How many people can quote that movie?
Yep.
Alright, so... Jonas is, he's a privately funded storm chaser who happened to have studied at the same college as they did. And the problem is that he's wanting to steal their idea of Dorothy, which is the device's name, and do it with his own called Dot 3. Well, Jonas is kind of a cheater. He has one of his drivers run Bill off the road, flattens his tire,
Runs over some big pipes.
yeah. Oh, that, yeah.
Yeah.
I can't watch that part. It makes me so mad.
Yeah.
So, they stop at a gas station, and they happen to see that Jonas is getting interviewed by a news crew. Well, Bill is not having this, so he heads over and starts just beating the living snot out of Jonas. And he's saying, "You took her! You thief! You took her!" And the thing is that the Jonas didn't know, apparently, but I'm sure he did, about the device. So they're broken up, and Bill tells Joe, "I will give you 1 day to prove that this can work." So Bill's off looking at the sky, and the thing is that Jonas is talking to Joe, and he's asking her, where are you guys heading? And she's saying she doesn't tell him. So they head over to the Bill is watching the sky, and he sees the next tornado about to form. So
Smart.
we're gonna stop here for a second. I need to take a break for a sec. Welcome back. So they head off to catch the next tornado, and finally Bill decides, I'm gonna go with Joe. Melissa, you stay in the back. That's where it's gonna be the most safe. You stay behind Dusty, and everything will be cool. So they're driving, and you can tell that there is a lot of tension between them because Bill has kind of a temper on him.
Yeah.
And after a while, they start arguing a little bit and almost run off the road because Bill's not paying attention. Well, narrowly misses a tractor that's in the way. And the problem is that they're arguing for so long that they forget that they happen to forget their job at hand, and the tornado just happens to be forming, and Bill has no idea about it until Belter finally reminds him, are we going to chase this tornado? So they drift off the road, head off towards where the tornado is, and they start getting ready. So the tornado has just happened to hit the ground. It's an F1. So this is our first tornado, an F1. And what happens...
A wee little one.
A wee little one, yes it is. And what happens is Bill goes into a ditch to try to intercept the tornado, get Dorothy up. Well, it doesn't go well because he loses control of the truck and crashes into a bridge, and they have no choice but to go under the bridge and hide until the tornado passes. Well, the tornado does pass, but the problem is that Joe's truck is
One problem.
Yes. Joe's truck gets picked up and slammed right in the road, right in front of Melissa. And, they're all, are you okay? You okay? Everything okay? Well, that's one Dorothy down. And
it smashed Dorothy.
Yes, to pieces. And the truck's gone too.
Yep.
So Jonas happens to drive by. Dusty messes up a little bit. Gives Eddie his driver, gives Eddie a big kiss. He's a loser, move on.
Losers. Sure.
So Joe finally convinces Bill, can we take your truck? Is this okay? He's like, okay, fine. They take the truck and they head off to the next tornado. But Jonas is right in front of them. Right in front of them, and they gotta keep up with them.
Yeah.
Cliff, we're gonna toss it over to you now.
Okay, sounds good. All right, so we left off. We're running into our apartment in Sapulpa, Oklahoma. This is probably about 9:30 or 9:45 at night on May 3rd, 1999. And by this time, it was well known that in Oklahoma City, something major had happened. And something major had happened. An F5 tornado. Go take this to Brayden, he'll help you. Go take it to Brayden. We're doing a video. Sorry, guys. An F5 tornado had gone directly through Moore, Oklahoma, which is a suburb of Oklahoma City, just south of Oklahoma City. Terrible devastation to this day. On the top 1 or 2 fastest recorded speeds on Earth.
The fastest.
318 miles an hour, something like that.
That's
Just
right.
unbelievable, guys. Huge, massively wide tornado. And so, but we were missionaries at the time, so we didn't know. We had no idea because we didn't have a TV or radio or anything like that. So we're just like, wow, it's just a bad storm. We didn't know that a massive tornado had just gone through Oklahoma City a few hours ago. So, and unfortunately, it had actually gone through a couple of elementary schools and killed some of the little kids. Plaza Towers Elementary, this is for you too. We love you guys. And Briarwood Elementary too, leveled that, but no kids were killed. Amazing miracle. So that's technology. How we have warnings, we still need to make it bigger. But anyway, so we get inside and we don't think a thing. We start getting ready for bed. We call a few people, and we actually get in bed because it's by this time it's like 10:15. No, sorry, about 10 o'clock at night, something like that. 10:15. Anyway, and there's a bad storm going on. Previously, when we went in, the lightning was like every 3 or 4 seconds. Nope. Okay, go upstairs. They'll show you how. And at this point, the lightning has intensified even more. I didn't hear a lot of thunder, but it was just like boom, boom, boom. Literally, like every second, there was a lightning flash. Like, wow, I've never seen anything like that before. So we're like, okay. So we go to bed, and about 5 minutes later, the phone rings. We'll leave it at that.
Okay. The phone rings.
The phone rings.
So Jonas is right ahead of Bill and his and Bill's crew, getting up to the next tornado, which is now an F2 that is now forming. Well, they both race towards it. Bill knows better. Thankfully, we got the smart guys here.
Yeah.
Bill knows better, so he knows that the tornado is going to turn soon. It's going to shift track, and Jonas is heading the wrong way. So they backtrack, go through a river, and intercept the tornado. They tried to, but Jonas is like, no! You said he was heading this way. No, he wasn't.
No, he knew better. Is that the Quickie Mart?
Yeah.
That's the coolest thing I've ever seen in my life.
I'll show you.
Sorry, go ahead.
Okay. So, Bill heads through, and it's lightning out. Bill charges in, telling everybody, stay back, we're going to handle this ourselves.
Right at this point in the movie.
Yeah.
Dude, you nailed it.
So,
such a cool part, one of my favorite parts of the whole movie.
That steady cam at the front. I'll put that picture up.
It's amazing.
So, they take a little wrong turn, and the water spouts start to form. And Bill doesn't know, I don't know where this is going to head. I think we're in, Joe knows that they're in the core now. They are in a really bad spot. And this is where the famous scene comes. A cow flies by twice. Well, the cow is taken somewhere. The water spouts get too close, and they are caught. They are caught. And the water spout starts spinning the truck for a little bit. Melissa is freaking out in the back.
Yeah.
And,
and she's on the phone, like, what's going on?
Well, the tornado stops, and the water spouts all go back up into the sky. And Melissa, at this point, she's freaking out. She's shaking up. I understand. I'd be the same way. The team catches up, and they're saying, can we take a break? There's too many tornadoes back there. We need to just wait for a little bit. Well, they happen to notice that they're near Wakita, and Joe's aunt happens to live there. And they say, can we go over there? And she says, no.
What state's Wakita in?
Wakita is in Oklahoma. Yeah, that's right. Well, they head over to Aunt Meg's. They have steak and eggs for a little while. Aunt Meg is talking to Joe about the, Bill and everything. And she's saying, you'll always love him. You will.
And I will. Sorry.
It's okay. Well, they get confirmation. Another tornado's forming.
Uh-oh.
We have an F3 on the ground.
F3.
Mile outside of Perlane. So they head off over. They head off towards it. But Jonas is, he's heading out too. So they need to hurry as fast as they can. So Aunt Meg gives Dusty a doggy bag of food because of the steak and eggs that they just had. And Dusty was talking about this story about when they first met Bill, butt naked, throws a wine bottle into a tornado, never hits the ground.
Nice.
So that's how Bill got to join. So they head out after it, and the shot they filmed that part in of Wakita is no longer there because they actually did destroy it for the movie.
It's true.
So they head off after. Jonas just so happens to be right in front of them. He's like, we gotta hurry. Jonas is going to catch up soon. Leading to the greatest movie scene I've ever think Hollywood has ever filmed. We follow them towards the F3. They pass the Wakita sign. Like, I can't put...
Which you need to remember later.
Yes. You need to remember, this is Wakita. Well, this, I can't put this part in words. I just gotta make sure, because this is the song I was playing during it. It's during the greatest movies I've ever seen. So they're gonna take a detour. They're gonna take a little walk in the woods.
We're gonna take a walk in the woods!
So they power through the woods. That smoking Dodge Ram leading the way. Looks amazing. I'm telling you, this part was unbelievable. They have fun.
Amazing.
Yeah. They have fun for a little while, but Jonas cuts them off and ruins it.
Man.
Cliff, we're gonna head back to you.
Alright, let's do it.
Phone ring.
So the phone rang. Now, I should have teased it a little bit better than that, because a phone ringing is not, not really anything special, right? The problem is this was late at night, at like 10:15 or 10:30 at night. Missionaries don't very rarely get a phone call that late. So one of my buddy picks it up and he goes, "Hello?" And he's like, "Oh, really? Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah, well, okay, yeah, we'll be right over." And I'm like, "What? Be right over? What are you talking about? We're in bed." And he goes, "We gotta hurry and go over to this house near the Chai's, C-H-A-I, Chai's house. That dome house, that's cool." And he goes, "There's a really bad storm coming. We have to go over to their house." And we're like, "Are you for real?" He's like, "Yeah, we gotta go now."
Like, you're talking about this is worse, this is a bad storm, worse than what you're seeing?
Yeah, exactly. Worse than what I've seen. Yeah, I'm like, I don't get that. Okay. So we head over, and at this point, it's raining a little bit, but what's crazy is the lightning. I know I've mentioned that a couple times before, but you gotta understand, at this point, the lightning's like, boom, 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 all up in the clouds. About every second, about every half second now, we're starting to see boom, boom, lightning all over the place. Some of it cloud to cloud, some cloud to ground, some ground to cloud, just everywhere. But it was weird because I don't remember hearing any thunder. So most of it was probably up in the sky. So we drive over to their house, and it is so windy. Lightning, it's crazy. And we're like the only people on the road, right? So we're just driving and hurrying up to their house. It's only like a mile away, but that was the longest mile of my life.
Right.
I'm like, what's going on? Anyway.
Longest mile of his life. Okay, so where we last left off, they are heading towards Destroy's house. The storm is hitting. So Bill and Joe head off to the F3. They have a hard time finding it though, but it doesn't take long for them to find out because it's some pretty interesting clouds. Pitch black clouds.
Yeah, black.
They drive ahead. Bill is just trying his best to get Dorothy ready, so he gets her ready. They're on the hill, and there's a massive hailstorm coming down. The tornado hits the ground, but the problem is that it's way more powerful than expected. They hits a power pole, launches fire into the air. Bill's like, okay, this is not a good idea. We gotta go now. Well, they're about to leave, trying to get Dorothy ready, but it hits towards some power poles. So it's shaking him, picks him up, one right above it just blows its transformer. They have to get out of there because the pole falls, hits the track. Dorothy's spilled. Dorothy's destroyed again.
Yep.
So the tornado leaves for a little bit, and they're saying, where did it go? Well, turns out it's a jumper, which basically means that it's going to hit soon. It's going to touch back down quick, and Bill realizes this. He pulls Joe back in the truck, and luckily they get in just in time because the tornado does smack the road. They start backing up, hit Dorothy on the way back, and they have an argument because Bill's just, you're obsessed with this. Are you trying to get yourself killed? And Joe just is saying that we need to keep these warnings going. And Bill proclaims that he does still love her. He really does, because he said, look what you have right in front of you, and it's me.
Oh, but one thing we forgot. If it's okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
We skipped one thing, and this is why it's important. Because at that point, Joe says, you've never seen a tornado miss this house and hit yours. We had to hurry, I know, but something important was when they were eating dinner at the table, you realize at that point that Joe was the little girl in 1969 that her dad got sucked up by the tornado. Anyway, go ahead. So you've never seen it miss this house and hit your house.
And unfortunately, that's how it works sometimes. Tornadoes can sometimes hit one house and then head off to another one, and just completely obliterate one house and destroy the next.
Yep.
Well, later that night, NSSL is tracking more tornadoes, and they catch two supercells on the screen. They're saying, if these two hit...
they combine, like happened in El Reno, Oklahoma. Three of them combined.
Three, that's right. So later that night, the team's at the drive-in movie theater watching The Shining, and there just happens to be a thunderstorm going on out there. Bill and Joe, they talk for a while. Joe does finalize the papers, and she goes over to Bill and he's saying, I've been thinking about the sensors. We scattered them out on the highway. Started to wonder whether the funnel current light was up. Which realizes it's too light. It's too light. So the thing is that Melissa unfortunately did hear their conversation on the hill, because the radio was left on when Bill's telling her, I do still love you. And she's in the motel room nearby, just devastated, I can tell. Well, there's a news report going on. It says if you're in the Canton area, we have a severe storm coming through there. They just don't know how severe it actually is going to be. So they notice that the TV's flickering and goes out.
Uh-oh.
Melissa's TV goes out.
Yeah.
And she sees wind blowing in the window. And so they go outside. Bill knows, and they all know that there is something coming. So we've gone from F1 to F2 to F3. What could this possibly be?
I know.
We're gonna head back to you, Cliff.
Well, we'll let John tell you what it is, but so we're racing over to the Chai's house about 10:30, 10:45 at night, and we get inside and we start watching the news. Hi, bud. We start watching the TV, and there's a newscast going on that says that there is a tornado in Bristow, Oklahoma, which is just northeast of Stroud, Oklahoma. So the big storm that produced the F5 tornado was coming up I-40 or I-44. And guys, don't go in front of the camera. And it was headed for us. So it says Bristol. Bristol was about 25 miles away. So we ran outside. And at this point, lightning's like boom, 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 boom. Not quite flickering, but pretty much all the time flashing. Little bit of rain, not really much thunder, super windy, and way off in the distance you can see kind of this little green, like not pretend green, forming on the horizon, super dark. So anyway, it's Bristow, so we're outside checking it out, seeing what's going on. We run back inside and look at the TV for about 20 minutes.
Sorry.
You want to stop there?
No, keep
Go further. Okay. So we're watching it for 15 or 20 minutes. Maybe not even that long. And outside, at this point, the lightning is straight up flickering. And I'm not kidding you when I say it was like this. At any point around the sky, you can always see 4 or 5 bolts of lightning or flickering in the sky somewhere. And off in the distance, this green thing, horizon, keeps growing and coming at us. We go back inside and we look at the warnings, and they say right now there's a tornado that is hitting Kellyville. Well, Bristow was 25 miles away. You know how many miles away Kellyville is? We're gonna have to wait to find out.
So they walk around the side of the concession stand that they're at the drive-in, and they can feel the wind. They hear it. Well, the lightning is flashing this right behind the movie screen. There is a tornado back there.
It's already here. It's not coming. It's already here.
That's right. It's not just a normal tornado. This is an EF4 tornado, the second biggest on the scale. So of course everybody's, just rushing towards the garage. I'm sure you're asking, why didn't they set up Dorothy if it was there? Why didn't they just try to? There wasn't time.
There wasn't time. And you got to realize, I know that we've been talking about F5s before. You have to realize that an F4 will pretty much turn anything into dust. An F4 is extremely powerful.
That's right. There was no time.
No time.
Like, I wouldn't even be thinking about the job at the point. I'd just be like, we got to go now.
Yep.
Don't even get in your car. Just get underground or anywhere you can right now. So the tornado passes through them, and Melissa, she's had enough. So she unfortunately does leave Bill, and half of it because of just what's been going on and the fact of what he said to Joe on the hill.
Yep.
Well, then Dusty is watching where the F4 is heading, and lots of the team's cars are totaled. The F4 just picked up probably like 6 or 7 or 3 of the team's vehicles, tossed them into each other, destroying them.
Yep.
Well, Dusty's tracking the tornado again. Aunt Meg, when I said she was living in Wakita, looks to hit Wakita head on.
Oh, I'll always remember that line when Dusty says that.
Yeah.
Because you can see on his face that something's not right.
Yeah, you knew. You can even look on the map. It says, you can see see the tornado path heading towards Wakita. So they hurry down there. Wakita's leveled completely. There was no warning. There were cars in the trees. The families were just looking throughout the area.
Timing.
Yeah.
Jeez, you're good at that.
Thank you. Who's scoring this video?
I don't know, but so far you're getting 100.
Thank you.
Yep.
They catch up to Aunt Meg's house and it's leveled.
Ah.
It's destroyed. So Bill and Joe, they rush up there onto the house. They start making their way through. They got to be as careful as possible because everything is just falling apart. And they find Aunt Meg in the basement with some sort of shelf on top of her. But her dog's there too, so luckily the dog was there to remind them where she is. It takes them a while because the house starts to collapse. There's a TV that falls, and the bricks at the layers of the house start collapsing. So the team finally catches up to them. They say, get an ambulance, get one here right now. They slowly get Aunt Meg out, and good timing too because the house collapses.
Gone.
And yes, the dog did make it out as well. So they're all listening to the weather report, and it's saying the F4 that hit Wakita has now moved out in the northeast. We just got word that an even stronger tornado has formed 25 miles south of Wakita. And they're saying, the weather service is saying this is really, really unusual, but I'm going to be the first to say that this latest tornado could be the strongest F5 tornado the state has seen in more than 30 years.
Yep. Unbelievable.
And speaking of F5, Cliff, we're going to go back to you right.
Okay, so when we left you off, again, remember a tornado had been in Bristow, Oklahoma, about 15 or 20 minutes ago. It was now in Kellyville, Oklahoma, which is 7 miles away. So 25 miles away to 7 miles away. And it's heading right for us. So we run outside. The lightning is going crazy at this point. The wind is unbelievable. And we're, of course, we're like 19 years old, so we're like, whoa, this is crazy. We're outside where we shouldn't be. And
how many people were at the house you were at?
Oh, there were probably 10 of us.
10
of us, yeah. They had a pretty big family. One of her brothers lived there too. So, yeah. So we went in and looked at and at this point, again, like I said, rain, lightning, wind, craziest thing I've ever seen in my life. And Kellyville is just southwest, and it's heading right for Sapulpa. So,
you're in Sapulpa, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm in Sapulpa. So we run inside to the TV station, and they say, okay, guys, it's time, if you're in Sapulpa, to take your safety precautions. And that means get underground or in the very center of your home, put something on your head. You have to get inside and try to protect yourself from a tornado. So I'm in Sapulpa, and Sapulpa is now getting a tornado warning. A tornado watch is when the situation can very well produce a tornado. A tornado warning means there has been either radar or visual confirmation of a tornado on the ground.
Wow. And this is about when the time they sound the sirens?
Yep. And so we run back inside, and one of the craziest sounds I've ever heard in my life, tornado siren goes off. And this is not a drill, this is real life.
So I hear that, it's one thing if it's a drill, but this is a real thing, so I'm sure that's a hope diminishing feeling.
Absolutely unbelievable. So we go in, and do you want me to finish the story?
We're going to stop for a sec.
Okay, we'll stop for 1 second.
Tornado siren just went off.
Okay,
So,
tornado sirens go off.
Joe is looking at the Aunt Meg's wind chimes, and she's saying, I have an idea. I know how to make Dorothy fly.
Oh, it's getting good.
So, it turns out they're going to make wings for the sensors. And by that they means they're going to get some cut up soda cans they're gonna put it on the sensors. That'll make them lighter. That way the tornado can carry him a lot better.
Yep.
And
Sure, you're still here.
they even have the handmaid's dog with them.
Last 5 or 10 minutes.
Bill thought Joe would head off with the ambulance that Aunt Meg was in, but she doesn't. She wants to try this again one more time because they have 2 devices left, and you just say, we've got to do this now. It's the best time.
And Aunt Meg wants her to go.
Yes, she does.
She said, I have a broken wrist, maybe, but I'll be fine.
And she was tough, I'll admit.
Yep.
And Bill and Joe finally find the F5 spinning in the middle of the field. It's big, it's a mile wide, it's beautiful, and it's ready. Well, they load up the Dorothys. The Dorothy 3 and 4 is all that they have left, and we have to do this now. This is an F5, it's a perfect time. And they head off after it. Bill and Joe intercept the tornado, and they're saying, we're going to put this in the middle of the road, that way it'll be easier to pick up. And they're even worried that someone's going to hit it. Well, nobody's going to be there. Nobody will be there.
Nobody's going to be there.
Bill pulls a quick U-turn, they get Dorothy out as fast as they can, and they gotta hurry because the tornado is literally right here, and they're right here. And finally they set Dorothy up just in time, burn out, get out of there, and the F5 draws near. So they get the camera and they start recording, this is gonna work. It doesn't. Because it starts picking up some trees, and the tree just happens to hit Dorothy, spilling it out onto the road.
And so even if it wasn't, even if it was really heavy and bolted down, it still would have gotten destroyed.
Yeah.
So it wasn't the fact that it was light, it just got hit by debris.
Dorothy's not armor.
No.
Well, they're like, oh, whatever. Well, they have to hurry fast because there's a tree. That tree that destroyed Dorothy is heading right for them. It catches the truck, turns it around, and they're stuck. And the F5 is...
wedges under the truck, under the back axle, so they can't even move.
Yeah, they're don't even try.
That's why you need 4-wheel drive, folks.
Yep. Sponsor 4-wheel drive. This would be a perfect Dodge Ram commercial, this scene.
Absolutely.
I'm telling you. So they're trying their best. They're just trying everything to get off this tree. And the F5, like I said, is not too far behind. It's literally right in front of them. Well, a semi-truck full of propane comes out of the F5. And they're like, okay, never mind, let's go, go. Well, the semi flies right towards them, bumps them right off the tree. That's convenient. And they finally drive off in the opposite direction, but at this point the F5 drops the semi right in front of them, blows up into a massive bomb, basically. They drive through successfully, although I'm sure burned a little bit. And that would end the commercial. Don't dodge it.
Ram it!
So, they make it through it, and Dusty's like, you guys see that explosion? We saw it.
Yeah, we were like 10 feet away.
Yeah. So, Jonas is trying to catch up with the F5 as well, and he doesn't listen to Bill because he's warning, this is not going to go the way you think it is. Jonas ignores him, forces Eddie, his driver, to drive towards it, and they take a wrong turn. The F5 destroys a power pole, kills Eddie, and picks up Jonas's car, throws him around a little bit, and kills him.
Bye-bye.
And they're saying, well, there's not really much we can do now. Oh, there is. There is. Cliff, we're gonna head back to you now.
Sound good to me.
Sirens just went off.
Alright, so sirens go off, and we realize this tornado's coming right at us. And, a normal human being would spend their life avoiding tense situations.
But Cliff and his friends spent their life getting into a tense situation.
Bouncer! Woo! So we're idiots, and we go right back outside. And it's hard to explain at this point because it's not just what you're seeing. You almost have this weird, eerie feeling inside, like, I could die right now. So we walk outside, and it's almost like things are a little calmer. And we look up, and we see black and green and nasty. Run back inside, and they say, okay, for all of you who are in the south, west to southeast portions of Sepulpa, the tornado's coming right at you. Well, guess where we are? Southwest corner of Sepulpa. So yet again, we run outside. And all I remember at this point was looking over. You see this huge cloud, and I could see it mostly because the lightning dipped down, cut across the top of a hill, and go back up. And that was a tornado that we saw.
So, you didn't get to see the full F5 monster. You got to see what was left of it, though.
What was left of it.
And that's still amazing.
It was unbelievable how powerful that was. I cannot imagine what they went through in Moore, Oklahoma, going through an F5 right in the middle of a city. Yeah. Unbelievable.
Yeah, I would say, actually, it was this size right here.
Yep.
And now, before we finish up Cliff Story, we're gonna keep going on the movie.
Yep.
So, Bill and Joe just saw Jonas get killed, and they're passing a tractor store, and the tractors are being picked up by the F5 as they drive past, and they manage to make it through all of it. But next up, a house rolls onto the road.
Oh!
They slam through the house. They make a house call, basically. And Bill's saying, we should get off this road. We really should.
Yep.
And so they decide, one more try. So they have one more Dorothy. They set it up. They decide this time the only way is the hard way.
Yep.
They drive into a field, and the F5 is right there, and they jump out of the truck at the same time, luckily. They put the Dodge Ram in cruise control, and Dorothy's launched. She
gets launched.
Finally. Yeah, but you can't help but salute the Dodge Ram going into the F5.
Gave its life.
Yep, it did. That truck went through a lot again.
It sure did.
Well, it seems okay, they're getting their readings on the screen. They are, we're going to be popular. This is going to work. We can finally do this. Haynes notices, though, that the tornado is shifting right towards Bill and Joe. So Bill and Joe just take off as fast as their legs can carry them. On foot, because they have no truck. And they pass into a farm. They try the first barn to hide for cover. No. There was sharp farm tools and rakes hanging off everywhere. Off of the ceiling and everywhere. And they're like, no, forget this. We're not. Who are these people? So they make it out of the barn, and the F5 is literally right there. Like, it is on the other side of where they are.
Right.
So they get into the shed that's nearby. They find some pipes in there that go down at least 30 feet. We might have a chance to do this. And they find some horse saddles.
Yeah,
some
leather
straps. And the thing is that they tie it up, and they're just like, all right, this is it. We don't have any other choice. And the F5 is right there, and they are taken into it. Yep. But they stay in place. But there's a little flaw, though. Real life, you would be hit by debris, and if you're stuck in the middle of a tornado, this is the only flaw I see in the movie.
Yeah.
You'd be torn to shreds if you were in the middle of a tornado.
Yeah, you would. And then it goes from F5 to dissipates.
Yep, the F5 finally dissipates, lifts up into the sky. Bill and Joe make it, reconcile their marriage, start the lab, roll credits.
Roll credits.
And that is Twister, 1996.
Great job.
And that is the greatest movie I've ever seen. And rest in peace, Bill Paxton and Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Yep.
For this amazing movie. Cliff, we're going to finish up your story now.
So after that happens, everything kind of starts to calm down a little bit. It starts to rain a little bit more, but the wind dies down. And we decide to go see if we can help anybody. So we jump in the car, we go up. And at the top of this hill, there's a gas station. Signs are knocked over, branches, trees, bushes, everything leveled. We go up to a lady, and here's probably the coolest part about it is we walk up to what looked like it used to be a house. It was. There was one tiny little room that was standing. It was the middle of the house, and it was a bathroom. That's where they were. If they were not in that bathroom, they would have died. So remember, is that still? So remember, if you get caught up in a bad situation with a tornado, if you don't have a shelter's best. If you don't have a shelter, go to the basement. If you don't have a basement, go to the center of the house, get down, try to put something on your head. You know, there's a guy in Birmingham, Alabama, his name is James Spann. He's an awesome meteorologist. He said something interesting. He said most people die in a tornado because the debris is hitting their head. They get, taken in. So even if you have a helmet or something, they recommend that now too. So remember, tornadoes are no joke. Take your precautions. If you need help, let someone know. Get to know a plan before a tornado hits so you can survive.
Well, Cliff, I thank you for this. I really appreciate it more than anything. We'd like to say thank you all for watching this review of Twister and the real tornado story by my uncle. And we would like to say rest in peace to the TwistX team. You guys were awesome. And you did your job. You did what you could. Yep, and that's all you need to do. Rest in peace, Philip Seymour Hoffman, who played Dusty and Twister. Did a great job. And rest in peace, Bill Paxton, who played Bill the Extreme Hardy. I'll see you guys next time.
Adios.